What if I told you the greatest empires in history didn't fall to swords, cannons, or barbarian hordes? Nah, forget the movies. The real assassin was silent, invisible. It snuck in wearing a suit and tie, whispering, "Hey, just print a little more." Nobody'll notice. That a vicious repeating cycle that has crushed exactly 7 superpowers the same damn way. Rome, Spain, France, Britain, the Ottomans, Weimar Germany, the Soviet Union, all dead. Same playbook. And right now, America just walked straight into stage 4, the point of no return for every single one of them. You're probably thinking, bro, chill. We're the United States. We print the world's reserve currency. We're different. Yeah, that's exactly what they all said right before the wheels came off. Stick with me. By the end of this, you're gonna see the pattern so clearly it'll make your stomach turn. Let's roll. Music swell, then drops to a driving beat. This thing has a name. The Empire Debt Cycle. 7 stages. Same order, every single time. And it's not some tinfoil hat theory. It's documented history spanning 2,500 years. Stage 1. Sound money. Every empire starts here. Lean, mean, and honest. Currency is backed by something real, gold, silver. Something you can bite and feel the weight of. No central bank magic, no printing press on steroids. People save, invest, build. Trust is sky high, economy roars. Rome kicked it off with pure silver denarii. Spain flooded in with New World silver in the 1500s. France stabilized after religious wars. Britain locked the pound to gold and launched the Industrial Revolution. Ottomans minted clean silver Aki coins. Even the Soviets, believe it or not, started the 1920s with a gold-backed Shervanets. Golden Age. Baby. Everyone's getting rich, until the leaders look around and go, man, we could build some epic stuff with this. Stage 2. Massive public works. Now the flexing begins. Kings and presidents start swinging the big dick of infrastructure. Rome, aqueducts, roads, Colosseum. Spain, El Escorial Palace that still makes your jaw drop. France, Versailles, baby, the original look-at-me project. Britain, canals, railways, factories everywhere. Ottomans, giant mosques and irrigation that turned deserts green. Soviets, dams, steel plants. The Moscow metro that still looks like a palace underground feels amazing while it lasts. But these projects cost a fortune. Taxes go up. Borrowing starts quietly. The debt snowball begins rolling. Stage 3. Massive military buildup. You can't have an empire without an empire-sized military, right? Rome, 28 legions patrolling from Scotland to Syria. Spain, the original global navy. France, Napoleon's Grande Armée, 600,000 strong. Britain, Rule Britannia. Britannia rules the waves. Ottomans, Janissary corps that scared the hell out of Europe. Soviets, Red Army so big it could blot out the sun. For a while it works. Conquests bring loot, glory, more territory. But here's the problem. Win or lose, the bills keep coming. And eventually, you run out of easy enemies. Stage 4. Perpetual war. Lean in. Voice drops. This is the stage we just walked into. Guys, the point where the empire is so big, so bloated, it has to fight non-stop just to keep the machine running. Borders too long to defend. Enemies everywhere. No off-season Rome. 3rd century crisis. Civil wars on top of barbarian invasions. Spain, 80 years fighting the Dutch, plus Italy, plus England, plus revolts in the New World. France, Napoleonic Wars, 15 years of non-stop slaughter across Europe. Britain, Boer War, World War I, World War II, back-to-back gut punches. Ottomans, losing a war every decade for 200 years straight. Soviets, Afghanistan, their Vietnam on steroids, while staring down NATO the whole time. Sound familiar? Since 9/11s, we've been in the longest stretch of continuous war in American history. Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Libya, Yemen, drone strikes in a dozen countries, proxy war in Ukraine, saber-rattling with China over Taiwan. We spend more on defense than the next 10 nations combined, and we still can't win anything decisively. Stage 4. Perpetual war. Lean in. Voice drops. This is the stage we just walked into. Guys, the point where the empire is so big, so bloated, it has to fight non-stop just to keep the machine running. Borders too long to defend. Enemies everywhere. No off-season Rome. 3rd century crisis. Civil wars on top of barbarian invasions. Spain, 80 years fighting the Dutch, plus Italy, plus England, plus revolts in the New World. France, Napoleonic Wars, 15 years of non-stop slaughter across Europe. Britain, Boer War, World War I, World War II, back-to-back gut punches. Ottomans, losing a war every decade for 200 years straight. Soviets, Afghanistan, their Vietnam on steroids, while staring down NATO the whole time. Sound familiar? Since 9/11, we've been in the longest stretch of continuous war in American history. Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Libya, Yemen, drone strikes in a dozen countries, proxy war in Ukraine, saber-rattling with China over Taiwan. We spend more on defense than the next 10 nations combined, and we still can't win anything decisively. This is stage 4. People, every single empire hit this wall. None of them turned back. Stage 5. Currency debasement. Cash is running out. Creditors are nervous. So leaders do the one thing they swore they'd never do. They cheat the money. Nero starts at quietly shaving silver coins. By the year 270, the denarius is literally copper with a silver wash. Spain, so much silver floods Europe it triggers 100 years of inflation. Prices quadruple. France. Prince Assignats during the revolution, paper backed by confiscated church land, ends up worth less than toilet paper. Britain ditches the gold standard in 1931, starts the slow bleed of the pound. Ottomans, the Aki goes from 100% silver to mostly copper in a couple centuries. Weimar Germany, 1923. You needed a wheelbarrow of marks to buy a loaf of bread. Soviets, late 80s ruble becomes a global joke, we're already doing it. 2008 crash, QE1 2020 pandemic, QE infinity, trillions created out of thin air. M2 money supply up over 40% in 2 years, inflation officially 8 to 9%. Real inflation on food, rent, used cars, try 20 to 30% for a lot of people. The Fed's balance sheet went from $900 billion in 2008 to almost $9 trillion today. That's debasement, just with better PowerPoint slides. Stage 6. Total loss of confidence. People figure out the game. They stop believing the currency is worth the paper or the digits it's printed on. Foreigners dump it. Citizens hoard gold, silver, crypto, anything real. Black markets explode. Barter comes back. Weimar, farmers wouldn't sell food for marks. Soviet Union, 1991. People lining up for bread with suitcases of cash. We're seeing the early tremors right now. Gold hitting all-time highs. Bitcoin going parabolic. Countries like Russia, China, India stockpiling physical gold like it's 1945 again. Saudi Arabia quietly taking yuan for oil. The dollar's share of global reserves has dropped from 71% in 2002 under 58% today, and still falling. That's loss of confidence in slow motion. Stage 7. Currency collapse and empire death, the endgame. Defaults, hyperinflation, or both. Rome, Western Empire gone by for 76 AD. Spain, bankrupt 7 times, loses most colonies. France, monarchy executed new currency under Napoleon, still loses global dominance. Britain, 1976, has to beg the IMF for a bailout. Empire officially over. Ottomans carved up after WWI debts never paid. Weimar hyperinflation births the Nazis. Soviet Union, Christmas 1991, the flag comes down, ruble dies with it. Every single time. So where are we right now? Dead center in stage 4, sliding hard into early stage 5. National debt, $36 trillion and counting. Interest payments alone just crossed $1 trillion a year, more than we spend on the military. Debt to GDP over 122%, worse than post-World War II. Unfunded liabilities, Social Security, Medicare, another $100 plus trillion. That's $400,000 per citizen if you're keeping score at home. And both parties keep spending like drunk sailors. No one's even pretending to balance the budget anymore. 3 brutal takeaways. No empire, no matter how mighty, escapes this cycle once they abandon sound money. Perpetual war is the accelerator pedal straight into the wall. The fix is more printing. Price controls, capital controls only make the crash harder. Final warning, we are not special. The laws of economics don't care about aircraft carriers or how many nukes we have. If we keep going, stage 6 and 7 are not far off. Could be 5 years, could be 15. But the math doesn't lie. The only question left, are we going to be the first empire in history to wake up and break the cycle, or just the latest to learn the hard way? Drop your thoughts in the comments. What stage do you think we're really in? Smash the like button if this woke you up. Subscribe and hit the bell, because I'm going to keep tracking this in real time. Share this video with someone who still thinks it can't happen here. Eyes open, folks. See you in the next one.